Hi guys, thanks for watching our tutorial today. We are going over how to create a meeting with Zoom as well as Zoom basics for teletherapy and distance learning. So here I have, go ahead and type in zoom.com. That will take us to zoom.us. Once you're on this site, you can go ahead and sign up using your educator's email, and that way you can have access to the unlimited Zoom session, meaning the meeting will not end after 40 minutes. So that's really important to take note. If you're using a personal email, your Zoom meetings are limited to 40 minutes, and after the 40 minutes, Zoom will just boot you off. But if you are signed up with a school.edu email, then you will have an unlimited amount of time for your meetings. So once you're here, go ahead and click sign in. You've already made your account. Once you're signed in, it'll take you to the main page. And I pretty much just focus on this top right-hand corner with these options in blue. So today we are going to schedule a meeting. Go ahead and click on that. That will automatically take you to this window. And let's schedule this as my speech meeting. You can write in a description if you wanted to remind parents to have a speech or homework exercise ready before your meeting. Go ahead and make sure the date and time are correct. We'll say this meeting is at 3:30. It's an hour long and Pacific Standard Time. And if it's a reoccurring meeting, go ahead and click on the reoccurring meeting box. You can just check that box and it'll ask you how often it's occurring. You can choose daily, weekly, monthly, and how many times a week it should repeat. If you're having sessions twice a week, this is super helpful. For the purpose of this meeting, I'm just going to uncheck that box. And meeting ID, I keep it simple. I just keep it on generate automatically a new meeting ID. And here's the passcode in case you have to share this with any latecomers while you're in the meeting. I always enable the waiting room option, which will let your students log in before you. And if you're not in the Zoom session, your students will be waiting in the virtual waiting room. Video options, I'm going to click that on so we can see their faces and participant on. That's for their video. And for meeting options, I leave all of these blank. Again, we want them to join after we've joined, not before us. And if you're working in large groups, it helps to mute the participants upon entry. But if it's just a one-on-one session, no need to do that. And normally I don't record my meetings. So I'll go ahead and click save. And we see here that we have our speech meeting. We can add it to whatever calendar we're using. And most importantly, we want to copy the invitation. This will allow us to then have all the information we just input, copy that invitation, and this is what I will paste into the email that I'm sending to the students or their parents. Okay? And that's basically the gist of scheduling a meeting. So If our meeting were to take place, we would then start this meeting. It's going to prompt you to run the Zoom app, which mine automatically does because I've enabled that since I'm logging into a Zoom meeting at least twice a day. So now that I'm in the Zoom meeting for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll just keep my camera off. We can look down at the control panel. Very straightforward. I absolutely love Zoom because of its simplicity. And to our lower left-hand corner, we see the microphone icon that allows you to mute your student or unmute your student. This arrow to the right of the microphone can be super useful. If for some reason your student logs in, there's a disconnect between their microphone and you're not getting any audio. So you would click this arrow. You can then walk them through making sure that they have same as system checked under selecting a microphone and a speaker. And I also will have parents or students, older students, test their speaker and microphone. And when you click that, it'll prompt you with a ring back to make sure that you're getting appropriate audio input. Okay. And then we have the video icon. You can turn off your camera. You can also choose a virtual background if it's, a younger student and you're trying to get their attention back to the screen. There are some cool options. You can be sitting in front of the Golden Gate Bridge or in front of, a planet. Kids love these virtual backgrounds. The security icon, I've never had to use it, and hopefully none of you guys have to. Participants will show you how many participants are in there in the chat room, and all the participants, including yourself, will show up to the right here, giving you the option to mute them if needed or to rename yourself if needed. The chat icon is great. If there is an audio issue, chat is always the first go-to. Okay, type a message. You can type them, about checking their speakers. Like we mentioned earlier, sometimes audio does need to be tested, so you can walk them through that. All right. And the most important feature, I think, is probably sharing your screen. So that's the green icon. And once you share your screen, you're going to see this control panel down here. And you can stop share anytime just by clicking that red stop share button. So right now, I'm sharing my screen. This is a little game that I like to use for prepositions. We have a student on the other end. They'll be able to also have mouse control, which you can enable from the same panel. And they can have quite a bit of fun by using the activities on your screen. And another feature I love about Zoom is the built-in annotation options. So down here on your control panel, you click annotate, and then this little separate panel will pop up. You can, again, have kids use their mouse and they can type. Or they can draw using different lines. I love the stamps. That can be used anywhere on your screen. The eraser, you can choose different colors, maybe some yellow stars. Always fun. Kids love this, especially at the end of an activity. You want to say, you've earned 5 out of 5 stars. So you can clear all of this when you're done. And you can also save any of the annotations that were done throughout the session can be saved onto your computer, and you can actually send that off to parents, showing, oh, look, Billy did such a great job in speech today. He earned his 5 stars. So that's always really neat to have. And when you're done, you just stop sharing. Reactions are excellent. These are new features. You want to go ahead and commend your students. Job well done. These are great. Alrighty. And that is basically the basics of starting a meeting on Zoom and using all of their simple but awesome features.